So lately, I've been thinking a lot about what is the most important, just out of everything. What means the most, and what should I be focusing on? And so I think at different stages in your life, there's a different answer that might come to you. But in my mind, I like to think towards the last stages, the ending stages of your life. What will be the most important? And I think really the only thing that matters is what's inside your head. And whatever's inside your head is what you'll take with you to the next life. You'll have your memories, your knowledge, your experiences, your relationships all locked up and stored inside your head. So, if that's the case, then mental conditioning might be the most important thing that you do in this life. And the way you do that, I guess, comes in many different forms because your mind is in control of everything. So, whether it be your family relationships, your job, your education, and your physical exercise and all that stuff, it all adds up, and it leaves you as complete or as incomplete as you choose to be. If you leave this life having impacted other people, having made physical, mental, and emotional changes, and then you did your best or as much as you could do, then that could be, I think, in my book, that's a full life that you lived. And so, anyway, recently I've been thinking a lot about strength because although I believe in the resurrection, I believe that after this life, I will receive a perfect body. Um, I like to think that it's not all just going to be so perfect all at once. More like, once I'm given a perfect body, I will have learned how to control it, how to maneuver it, how to operate it. Just like the perfect life that we all want, we might not know how to live that life at this point. It's like if you either have no or little to no experience driving a fast car or a nice car, all of a sudden you're given one, there's a high probability you're either going to get in an accident or either that or you're just going to not know how to drive it super effectively and you're going to waste it. So anyway, not to ramble on, but basically when it comes to strength, the stronger you get, the stronger your mind is. It's just a relationship that exists. There's neurological pathways that form when you repeat motions, and your body becomes efficient at performing the motion. And so the stronger you get, the stronger your mind becomes. And at some point, you're going to receive a body that's capable of so much more than the one you have right now. But if you don't know how to use how to control this body that you have, then you'll never be able to make it with the other one. So even though I don't think I'll be the same person by the end of my life and into the next life, I want to carry over any strength, anything that I've learned from this life. I hope to take it to the next one, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's just what has been on my mind. And so today, I started off again with posterior chain. If you've been watching, you know that I'm kind of just learning about balance. I'm learning about how to balance my training. And one thing I've been doing a lot for the past 2 months is just squatting, squatting, squatting. And recently I've developed some knee issues, no pain, but basically I can feel like my right knee is kind of getting weaker. And it seems to me like some sort of a balance issue where I might be leaning too far to the right. My muscles might be imbalanced where I might have overdeveloped muscles on one side of my body and not on the other side, things like that. And one thing I noticed as well is that, like an observation, is just I do a lot more pushing than I do pulling. And so the more that I pull, I hope to kind of overcorrect the issue. And not overcorrect it, but just to fix it. Anyway, and I think that over time, I hope to adjust. And it's so critical that you focus and that you're locked in while you work out. Because if I don't fix anything, the problem will not go away. Like if I don't correct my alignment myself, there's not, my body and my mind are not going to do it for me. If I've talked about it before, but if you just lift and you just do it just to move the weight, your body is going to be conditioned to find the most efficient way possible of doing it, and that's regardless of whether or not it's compromising to your alignment or your posture. Your body just wants to get the weight up and off of you. Like it wants to get it done and let you get out from under the pressure. So you really have to focus mentally to make sure that you make the corrections, that you balance properly, that you execute the motion with proper form and technique. And that's why it's such a mental thing as well, not just a physical thing. Another thing, kind of awkward, but I want to call attention to my stomach. It's kind of a funny thing, but as I've been going through the like each workout, basically, so this is the story. Not to be too drawn out, but I just moved here to this area, and I've had the hardest time finding a job. But I actually just found a job just barely, and I'm going to start in 2 days. But basically, I haven't been able to buy it. Like my just I don't know. It's just like my family's way of doing things that we don't eat that much. Like we don't eat many big meals. We might have dinner one day, but no one in my family seems to like to eat that much. So it's like we love food, but we don't want to make food, prepare food. And so because I don't have money and I'm not gonna touch my savings, I'm not willing to go out and just and like I said, use my savings. I also don't want to use my parents' money. I just want to be financially dependent on my own. And the reasoning behind this is I think back to like our primal conditions, our ancestors that lived in harsh conditions. You only got food if you went out there and killed it, and if you prepared the food and you ate it, then that was what would keep you alive. And so I don't see any other reason for me, if I want to achieve my fitness goals, I need to basically hunt my goals down and kill them myself. And that's just me. I know some other people might think differently, but that's my focus, is that once I have a job, I'm going to buy as much food as I need to get stronger. One thing that's been funny though is watching how my weight fluctuates so much. And so right now I weigh, I think, about 270. I might be north of that right now. But on a week where I eat plenty of calories, and trust me, it's a lot of calories. Um, After I've been dieting well for maybe, let's say, 1 or 2 weeks, my weight starts to go down, and I might lose up to like 3 to 5 pounds. And when I have a week or 2 weeks in a row where I'm not eating enough calories is when my weight balloons. And like right now, my stomach is bloated. And it's like, and I used to think it was like, oh, there's nothing I can control. It's just, that's just, well, my body, that's just how it is. But I wasn't able to identify what was making that happen, that fluctuation. But as I've been working on eating well, eating better over the last like year to 18 months, I've definitely noticed that the more I eat, the better my body is in terms of water retention, of fat distribution, and all those things. I just look and feel better after I've been eating enough calories, especially protein. Um, on a good day, I'll eat anywhere like 200 grams of protein to maybe a little bit more, and I'll eat anywhere from like around 2,500 calories. That's a good day of eating for me, and trust me, it's hard. It's not easy to consume that much. But the thing is that when you're trying to take your body and totally transform it, it's like you need an overhaul. Basically, you need nutrients, and you need lots of them. So you just have to keep dumping nutrients into your system and doing the right conditioning physically, and then eventually over time, over several months, your body will begin to change. And the idea, at least this is how I understand it, the idea is that at some point when you attain a desirable condition physically, you're able to eat less calories and force your body to adapt, and your body will respond by becoming more efficient at processing your calories and your nutrition, all that stuff. Because if you think about it, no one, it's only in the modern era that we're able to eat anywhere near 3,000 calories a day, which some people, namely bodybuilders, will eat up to 5,000, 6,000 calories a day. That I don't think it's ever happened in the history of the world where that's just so accessible to people that have money. Even rich people, I think, in the past have never been able to eat that much. And so people have had like a way better health records, I guess. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Basically, if you go back 100 years, go back even 50 years, people were not suffering with all the same health conditions we have today, but they also did it with eating less food. Let's say 200 years ago. Although our generation is a lot stronger, I think we're bigger and stronger, we're not healthier for it. So my goal is to discover the balance, where I can eat like a proper maintenance level of calories, but have it be the most efficient way possible. Basically conditioning myself to not need so much food, because at some point, I think with the economy and how things are going, it's just not going to be feasible unless I want to spend all my money to eat as much as I can, like maybe eating up to 3,000 calories a day. I don't think that's going to be realistic. I think it's more realistic to hope to eat anywhere from 1,800 to 2,200 calories a day max. I think the days are coming where food is going to start being a little bit tougher to come by. So I'm trying to prepare, but while I can, I'm going to be eating as much food as possible, and then trust in my body's mechanics of storage and all that stuff to be able to see me through and when I lower my calories at some point. So anyway, those are all my thoughts about, like, that's my plan for dieting and nutrition. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just going to try it out. My body is my own science experiment, and we'll see how it goes. So anyway, so I did the Romanian deadlifts, and then I went into a shoulder press. Like, I wasn't really sure, and I'm never exactly knowing exactly what exercises I'm going to do before I start. I just go with what I feel like I should do. But I did the Romanian deadlifts. I felt like my lower back and hips were warmed up, and so I went into these shoulder presses. Um, anyway, I do my best, but it's so hard to stay away from training upper body. I don't know what the issue is. But anyway, I did shoulder presses. I think so for the Romanian deadlifts, I did a decent warm up. I did about like 20-30 reps of warming up with 25 pounds, and then I did 45s for several sets, and then I went up to, let's see, 185, and I did maybe 6 or 7 sets of 4 reps, something like that. And then I went over to the shoulder press. I did like 6 sets maybe, warmed up, and then I did like several sets with the I think I did 25s and 5, so 30 pounds each side. That's going to come out to 105 pounds, I think. Anyway, so then now here I'm going to the, I call it overhead squat. There's this Olympic weightlifting movement called the overhead snatch. And anyway, I'm doing kind of a partial of that because all I want to do is strengthen my shoulders and my rotator cuffs, because I think my shoulder strength is pretty pathetic right now. I've never actually used my upper body so much in my life, so it's like my shoulders are the weakest part. So I'm just doing performing some simple squats, but also like with the weight over my head, and so doing my best to balance it. And this is the heaviest I've gone so far. If you watch back in my other videos, you'll see how I started out only doing the bar, and that was hard for me. Then I only did 5 pounds, and then just the last couple weeks I've been able to do 10 pounds, and today I attempted 15. And the thing is that like this weight is not heavy, it's just hard to balance because my small shoulder muscles are really hard to control at this point because they're super underconditioned, underdeveloped. And so you can see that, I think right there, it's at the end of the set. There's one set where I literally put the bar up, and after 2 reps I just couldn't balance it anymore, so I had to put it back down. But anyway, I love it because of, the idea that people say you're only as strong as your weakest link, the weakest part of you. And so doing the Romanian deadlifts, I do it because it improves my grip strength, and doing the overhead is good because it targets my weak shoulder muscles. And so hopefully over the course of the next few months those can get stronger, and I can see a big increase in those lifts, because trust me, like, I can deadlift a lot of weight, and so to see my grip strength give out at like 185 or 200 is kind of discouraging. But the more I hammer at it, I'm sure the stronger my grip strength will be. So after this, I think, okay, so this is just like an exercise I made up in my head, but I'm trying to condition like the rotator cuffs. So I put the bar up over my head, and I'm kind of letting the bar drift back like into a dangerous, that's like the danger position you don't want the weight to be in. But because it's lightweight, I put it back over my head and did like 10 reps of pushing it towards the danger zone and then pulling it back, kind of conditioning my muscles to overcorrect when in the case that I'm doing that movement with a lot of weight on it. So anyway, I did 3 to 4 sets, I think, of squatting. Like I said, my knee's been an issue, but today I focused on, I need to figure out how to get a better angle. Today, it's been super cold, so I'm not opening the garage, but maybe the outside angle would be better for this. But I'm doing a narrower stance. The last several squat sessions I've been doing this, and I noticed that it's doing kind of a better job of targeting my weaker spots in the squat. It's like I felt it pulling on my abs, my glutes, my hips, everything. And yeah, the only thing I would say is that if you squat in a way that's really comfortable to you, that might be good, but it's also more beneficial, I think, to squat in your weakest position. And if you do that and repeat that motion and condition yourself that way, it'll make you stronger than if you just train in your strong position, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great day.